Okay, hi, welcome to yoga. This feels really weird and I'm so sad that I'm not actually live this Friday. Please forgive me for that, and that, I will be there again next Friday and this won't happen again. But I wanted to at least do something, because I think sometimes when you start getting into a rhythm of going, doing something once a week, once a day, whatever, sometimes you're just building that up. It's only been 2 weeks. It's just such a shame when then that rhythm gets broken, and then it's hard to get back into it. So I wanted to provide an alternative for you to at least still be able to keep going if you want to. And maybe you are watching this on Friday evening, or maybe at a different time that's more convenient, and that's all good. It is about 4 in the afternoon for me, but good evening, morning, afternoon to you. And yeah, I don't need to introduce myself. You know who I am. You're all my friends. Some practical things. I've said it before, but I'm just going to say it again. In terms of the class, please make sure that you watch yourself. Basically, just make sure that you listen to your own body in terms of what feels okay or not. So we can feel uncomfortable in poses, we can feel stretching, we can feel extremely uncomfortable in poses, and that's all totally fine. But if you feel sharp pain, or even if you're questioning, I'm not sure that this is feeling right in my body, please come out of the posture, or at least slightly out of the posture. And do it that way, and just don't even go there. Don't try and harm your body. I obviously can't see you, so you really need to pay attention to yourself. Because I also can't see you, I can't, you can't shout and say, okay, well, I can't do this, what can I do instead? So I would just recommend, because we are flowing, that if you are somewhere that you can't do, or that you feel like isn't good for your body, couple of options. Either do the pose less intense, or simply stay in the pose before, and just, because usually we flow, right? So it's maybe a couple of breaths, 4 breaths at most, that you'll be missing out on. So just stay in the pose beforehand and breathe there. So usually be like a downward facing dog. Just stay there for those few breaths that of the poses that you don't want to do. And then pick back up when we finish. As you'll see, the flow is we go downward facing dog something, downward facing dog something. So we'll come back to the downward facing dog anyway. So that's a great pose just to stay in if you really don't feel like you can do the pose in between we're doing, or that you don't feel comfortable creating a sort of variation for yourself, or a lighter version of the pose. So that's my tip to you. And as always, if you just want to chill out, it's much easier. I guess you could literally just turn me off now and chill out. But if you do want to stay in class, but you just need a little breather, come back to child's pose. Really easy again to do from downward facing dog. From downward facing dog, you just lower your knees to the ground, and bring your buttocks back to your heels. Put your face on the floor, and you're there, and you can breathe, and in a similar fashion you'll come out of child's pose back into downward facing dog if you want to rejoin the flow. Going to be about an hour to hour and 15 minutes, and some other practical things. I'm really sorry, this is really long. Some other practical things are have some socks on hand if you want warm feet. I'm already wearing mine. Maybe a jumper, maybe a blanket for the end relaxation, and for the yin poses it'd be quite good to have some pillows nearby. So actually 2 to 3, which is a little bit more than we've done the previous 2 times. So just have that on hand, and anything else, if you want a drink or something, go get that now if you don't already have it. Pause me if you don't already have it and go and get it. And then we can make a start. So to start the class, just find a comfortable seat. I'm sitting cross-legged on a bolster, but you can just do that on a pillow. You can obviously just sit straight on the floor as well, but what's really great about sitting on a pillow is that your knees can come lower, which allows you to sit more comfortably, but also to leave your spine in a natural position, because quite often if you just sit on the floor, your knees are here, and then it can be quite difficult to sit up straight and we just bend our back. Great way to check if you're bending in your back is just to place a hand on your lower spine and on your stomach and just feel whether that feels like it's sticking out loads or the other way. Just kind of feel like it's in the middle. If this isn't a comfortable way for you to sit, another great way is to put a pillow down like this, legs alongside it, and sit down. So some options for you there, but just find yourself in a comfortable seated position, and then when you're ready, take a deep breath in and breathe out of the mouth. Breathe in again and out of the mouth. Breathe in and out of the mouth. And as you breathe out, just close your eyes and settle into the space more. So what do I mean when I say that? Just feel your sit bones on the pillow, on the floor. Maybe picture the space in your head where you're sitting. Maybe feel other parts of your body, maybe where your hands touch your legs, where your legs cross. Maybe you can feel your hair on your face. Just to sort of orientate yourself into this space, anchor yourself here, rather than being in various different places in our minds. So on your next in-breath, you're just going to bring up your arms alongside your body and bring them to the top of your head. And on an out breath, you're going to let your hands sink down through the midline and just place them on your heart. We're going to take our right hand and place our pointy finger and middle finger. I'm not sure if pointy finger is the right word, but I hope you know what I mean. Your pointy finger and your middle finger, just on the space between your eyebrows, and we're going to do a breathing exercise called alternative nostril breathing and alternate nostril breathing, and it's a great exercise to just balance out the energy between our brain halves. Energy is or breath is our energy, it's our life force, it's our prana. So not only does it bring us, that air bring us energy around our body. So you can see how we predominantly breathe through one side versus the other. You can become out of balance, and that's actually quite normal. I'm not sure if you've noticed this, but for a lot of people you tend to just breathe out of one nostril predominantly for about 3 hours, and then it switches to the other side. And there isn't necessarily anything wrong with this, but this exercise is then really great to sort of bring our body back into alignment, its two sides, as we breathe alternatively into either nostril. So yeah, pointer finger and middle finger just in the space between our eyebrows, and then we're going to use our ring finger and our thumb alternatively to gently close off one of our nostrils. So we're going to start by just slowly pressing our thumb against our right nostril, just that you can only breathe through your left nostril. So we're going to breathe in through the left and breathe out through the left. And after your out breath, you can release your thumb and instead place your ring finger on your left nostril. And we'll breathe in through our right and breathe out through our right. Release your ring finger and place your thumb on your right nostril. Breathe in through the left and breathe out through the left. Release your thumb, place your ring finger, breathe in and breathe out. Release your ring finger, place your thumb, and then this time we're going to breathe in through our left nostril. But rather than immediately breathing out, you're now going to switch. So you place your ring finger onto your left nostril, release your thumb and breathe out through your right nostril. Breathe in through the right. Pause and place your thumb back onto your nostril, release the ring finger and breathe out through the left. Breathe in through the left. Pause and place your ring finger, release your thumb, breathe out through the right. Breathe in through the right. Place your thumb back onto your nostril, release your ring finger, breathe out through the left. And breathe in. So we're going to continue this pattern, breathing out and breathing in. And after our breath in, we switch sides of our nostril. So not after our out breath, but after our in breath, such that we complete the breath, part of it on one side and part of it on the other side. So you can either do this at your own speed of your own breath, or you can continue to follow along with me. So I'm not exactly sure where you are right now, but I'm going to start breathing in on the right. Place my thumb, release my ring finger and breathe out through the left. Breathe in through the left. And breathe out through the right. Breathe in through the right. And breathe out through the left. And if you haven't closed your eyes already, I highly recommend closing your eyes now. Breathe in through the left. And out through the right. Breathe in through the right. And breathe out through the left. We'll go one more round. Breathe in through the left. And breathe out through the right. Breathe in through the right. And breathe out through the left. Release your hand back to your heart space. Let it rest there or in your lap. Keep your eyes closed and just breathe normally for a little bit. See if your body feels differently than maybe when you first sat down. On your next in-breath, bring your hands up alongside your body, up to above your head. And breathe out, let your hands sit down to your lap. Open your eyes. Take off any socks that you may have been wearing. Take the pillow away. We're going to start in tabletop position. So that's our hands approximately underneath our shoulders, can be a bit wider. Our hands slightly turned out if you fancy. What feels better for you. Knees approximately underneath our hips and our feet flat on the ground, laid down. We're going to start with the cat-cow. So on your in-breath, leading from your tailbone. Bring your tailbone up, hollow your spine all the way up, then bring your shoulders back, and lastly, look up ahead. And on your out breath, you're going to do the exact opposite, but still leading from your tail. So tuck your tailbone under, and roll your spine all the way up until your shoulders go as well. And then finally your neck goes, and we look towards our belly button. Breathe in, bring your tailbone up, tilting the pelvis, lower back hollow, shoulders go back and look up. Breathe out, tuck your tailbone under, back comes up like a cat, and lastly you look towards your belly button. And breathe in, and breathe out. I'm going to do this 3 more times. Feel free to do it in the pattern of your own breath or follow along with me. So breathe in. We look up and breathe out. We round our spine and look towards the belly button. Breathe in, follow the spine, shoulders back, look up. Breathe out, tuck your tailbone. Look towards your belly button. Last time. Breathe in. And breathe out. After your final exhale, come back to a neutral position. And then we're going to tuck our toes. And then we're going to, when we press on our hands, we can press our bum towards our heels, and we can come up again. But rather than pressing ourselves all the way back, we're going to press ourselves slightly towards the back of the mat, but not with our heels all the way to our bum all the way to our heels. And then we're going to press into our feet at the same time. So we lift up our knees, and then we keep pressing both from your hands as well as into your feet until your legs start to straighten and your bum goes into the air, and you try and reach that as high as possible. Make sure that you keep pressing in your hands to make your front body move backwards, because otherwise we end up looking more like a tabletop or a plank position, just with a bum really high in the air. So I'm going to keep pressing such that we make a triangle shape. This is our first downward dog of the day, and it can feel a bit stiff. I know that, to be honest, it feels a bit stiff for me right now. So you might want to adjust yourself. So a few things to think about. Do you want to increase the space between your feet and your hands? So maybe you want to walk your hands a bit further away from you, or a bit closer. You can have a bit of an experiment. Does it feel better to turn your hands out slightly rather than having them face straight forward? Are your fingers spread out wide? Then our heels do not need to touch the ground, nor do our legs need to be straight. So bend your knees if you need to be able to push properly into your hands, to move your bum up towards the sky, your hips up towards the sky. Are you bringing your shoulders all the way up to your ears? If so, can you slightly create a bend in your arms to allow your shoulders to sort of stay down rather than all the way up towards your ears? We can do a bit of walking, so you can bend one knee at a time and bounce up and down very gently, not like, oh, let's have a bounce, but just gently bounce up and down on that left foot, and then bend your left leg and bounce a little bit on your right foot, to just sort of waken up the back of our legs. And then when you feel comfortable, let's have a deep in breath And exhale through the mouth. Breathe in, bend your knees and look forward. Exhale, step your feet in between your hands to the front of the mat. And breathe in, we're going to rise up. So tilting from our hips. So rather than what we did in cat-cow, where we round our spine, then lastly we lift our heads. We go more like there's a pin in our hip area, and we're going to bring that up so our back stays sort of straight. So we breathe in, you might want to bend your legs slightly and just rotate your upper body on that pin. Arms above your head, and breathe out, bring your hands back down, close your eyes for a second. Then on your next in-breath, just bring your arms up alongside your body again, up into the air, look up, and on your out-breath, you're going to do the same principle of the pin, slightly bend your knees, and just bring your upper body down together with its arms back down to the floor, into what we call a forward fold. So feet are approximately shoulder hip width apart. Our legs can be slightly bent. Our upper body is folded over our legs, down. Our hands hang down. Our head hangs down. Just breathe here. And then on an in-breath, you're going to go to what is called a halfway lift. So place your hands either on fingertips on the ground, but I would recommend placing them on your shins. And then we're going to raise up our upper body so that it's about parallel with the floor. Lift straight back. The crown of our head is facing towards the wall in front of us. We've pulled our shoulders back, but they're away from our ears. And this is what is called a halfway lift, and we'll come back to this position more frequently. So on your next out breath, bend back down, forward fold. So let your head hang heavy, crown of the head is towards the floor. Arms are soft, hanging. And on your in-breath, we're going to rise back up, so with a straight back, knees slightly bent. Bring your hands up towards the sky, and breathe out, bring your hands back down. Breathe in, lift your hands up, and breathe out, bend down towards forward fold. Breathe in, halfway lift. Breathe out, bring your hands to the mat, and step your feet back towards a high plank position. Breathe in and breathe out, bring your knees to the floor, untuck your toes, and bending the elbows close to your body, come down with your upper body down to the floor until you've lain down. Breathe in, push yourself up with your hands into a cobra position, and breathe out, bring your upper body back down. Breathe in, tuck your toes, push yourself back up to a tabletop position, and breathe out, push yourself back to downward facing dog. So pressing your hands in your feet. Breathe in and breathe out through the mouth. Breathe in, bend your knees, look between your hands, step your feet in between your hands. Breathe out, forward fold. Breathe in, halfway lift, hands on shins, upper body parallel to the floor. Breathe out, forward fold. Breathe in, rise up, hands towards the sky, look up. Breathe out, bring your hands down. Breathe in, hands up towards the sky. Breathe out, bend your body forwards down to the floor. Breathe in, halfway lift, crown to the wall in front of you, and breathe out, forward fold, bring your hands to the mat, step back to high plank. Breathe in, breathe out, bring your knees to the floor, untuck your toes, and sink back down to the floor. Breathe in, pushing your hands, cobra. Breathe out, push yourself back now. In one go, tuck your toes and go to downward facing dog. So you go from lying on the floor, you bend your knees, you're pressing your hands, tuck your toes, bring your heels towards your bum and pressing your feet and bring your hips towards the sky. And we're in downward facing dog. On your next in-breath, you're going to lift your right leg up to the sky. Make sure that your hip doesn't go all the way with it as well, but that your hips remain square. That might mean that your leg is not as high into the air, but that's just fine. It's not whose leg can be highest. And on your next out breath, you're going to bend your right knee and bring it underneath your body and step it in between your hands. You're going to bring your left knee to the floor, untuck your left toes, and on your in-breath you're going to sweep your arms from behind, up and back into a little back bend as you look up towards the sky. And breathe out, bring your hands back to the mat. Breathe in, tuck your toes, lift your knee, and breathe out. And breathe in, pressing your hands and bring your right leg back up to the sky. Breathe out, place your right leg down. And we're going to go straight into our left leg, so breathe in, lift your left leg up into the sky. Check your hips are square, breathe out, bend your knee, bring it underneath your body, step in between your hands. Breathe in, bring your back knee to the floor, breathe out and tuck your toes. Breathe in, take your arms from behind you, up into the air and back, little back bend, breathe out, hands to the mat, and breathe in, tuck your toes, lift your knee, bring your left leg back up into the air. Breathe out, place it back down to the mat. Breathe in, bend both knees, lift between your hands, and breathe out, step your feet between your hands. On your in-breath, we're going to go to a halfway lift, so put your hands on your shins, upper body parallel to the floor, breathe out, forward fold. Breathe in, rise up, arms alongside your body, up towards the sky, and breathe out, let your hands fall back down to your sides. Close your eyes for a second. Breathe in, and breathe out through the mouth. Let it go. And do that again. So breathe in, lift your hands up to the sky. Breathe out, forward fold. Breathe in, halfway lift. Breathe out, put your hands on the mat, step back to high plank. Breathe in, breathe out, bring your knees to the ground. Bring your, untuck your toes and sink down. Breathe in, cobra. So pushing your hands, upper body comes up, hips still to the floor. Breathe out, come back down and push yourself for your tabletops back into downward facing dog. Breathe in, lift your right leg up to the sky. Breathe out, bend your right knee and step it between your hands. Breathe out, bring your back knee to the mat, untuck your left toes, and breathe in, bring your hands up alongside you and back, baby, back bend. Breathe out, hands back to the floor, tuck your toes, lift your knee, breathe in, lift your right leg up to the sky. Breathe out, place your right leg down. Breathe in, lift your left leg up to the sky. Breathe out, bend your knee. Oh, this is online, so I can do it. bring your right leg back up to the sky. Now we're going to bend it immediately again, so bend it and bring it underneath your body. But rather than stepping it down, we're going to bring our right foot towards the left side of our mat. So we're going to straighten our right leg and bring it to the left side of our mat and point our toes towards the floor and push them down. At the same time, we're going to lift our left hand and open up. And on your out breath, you're going to put your left hand down, bend your right knee, bring it underneath your body, and breathe in. Bring your right leg up to the sky, breathe out, step your right foot down. Breathe in, lift your left leg up to the sky, breathe out, bend your knee underneath your body, step it between your hands. Bring your back knee to the ground, untuck your toes, breathe in, lift your arms up towards the back, baby back bend. Breathe out, hands back down to the mat, lift your back knee, tuck your toes and breathe in. Bring your left leg up to the sky. I'm going to do the same thing as on the right now. So on your out breath, bend your knee underneath your body. Body weight comes slightly forward. And then we bring it underneath our body. So the heel of our left foot points towards the right wall. And then we straighten it. Point our toes, put our left toes to the floor on the right side of our mat, and then we lift up our right arm so that our shoulders are stacked and open. We open up our body to the right side of our mat. And on your out breath, bring your right arm down, bend your left knee, push back down to downward facing dog with your left leg lifted, breathe out, place your left leg down. Are you feeling it yet? I know I am. Breathe in, bend your knees, look in between your hands and breathe out. Step your feet in between your hands. Breathe in, halfway lift, so upper body parallel to the floor. Take your shoulders back, breathe out, hang down, forward fold. Breathe in, rise up, and breathe out. Let your hands fall next to the side of your body. Close your eyes as we prepare ourselves to do that a few more times. Take a layer off if you wish, and let's do that again. So breathe in, bring your hands up towards the sky. Breathe out, forward fold. Breathe in, halfway lift. Breathe out, hands to the mat, step back to plank. Breathe in and breathe out. Put your knees to the floor and tuck your toes. Come down to the floor. Breathe in, baby cobra. And breathe out, push yourself back to downward facing dog. Breathe in, lift your right leg up to the sky. Breathe out, bend your right knee, step it between your hands. Breathe out, bring your knee to the floor, untuck your toes and breathe in, rise up. Baby back bend. Breathe out, hands to the floor and push back on an in-breath to three-legged dog, right leg up into the sky. Now breathe out, bend your leg, breathe in, extend it towards the left side of your mat. Open up with your left arm into the sky. Breathe out, left hand back to the floor, bend your right knee, breathe in, up into the sky. Breathe out, bend your right leg, bring it forwards into a plank position. Again, bend your knee so your knee goes towards the right side and your foot towards the left, and place your knee behind your right hand. Place down your left knee, untuck your toes, and breathe in, come into your fingertips and lift your upper body into a yang version of pigeon pose. So active, tense your bum, feel fierce. I mean, I don't think pigeons are that fierce, are they? But you're feeling fierce. And breathe out, bring your hands back down, tuck your back toe, lift the back knee and breathe in. Bring your right foot back up into the sky and breathe out, place it down on the mat. Breathe in, lift your left leg up into the sky. Breathe out, bend it and step your foot between your hands. Bring your back knee to the floor and tuck your toes, and on an in-breath, bring up your hands, baby back bend. Breathe out, hands to the floor, tuck your toes, lift your knee, breathe in, left leg into the air. Breathe out, bend the knee and bring your left foot towards the right side of the mat. Legs straighten, lift your right arm up. And breathe out, right arm down, bend your left knee and breathe in, take it back up, three-legged dog. Breathe out, last time, bend your left knee, shift your body weight forward, bring the left knee behind the left hand, foot towards the right side of the mat, bring your right knee to the floor, untuck your toes and breathe in, rise up with your body on your fingertips. Look forward, feel regal, and breathe out, hands back to the floor. Tuck your back toes and breathe in. Left leg goes up towards the sky. Breathe out, bring your left foot to the floor. Breathe in, bend your knees, look between your hands, and step your feet between your hands. Breathe in, halfway lift. Breathe out, forward fold. Breathe in, rise up. Breathe out, let your hands sink down. Close your eyes and take a couple of breaths here. We're going to do this one more time. If you're thinking, she sounds way fresher than I feel to do this again, I slightly cheated. My battery died. So I've had a good 15 minute sit down. So I can't fully sympathise. So we were going to do this once more anyway. So just take a deep breath in. Let it all go out of the mouth. And you prepare ourselves to do this once more. So breathe in, raise your arms up to the sky. Look up, open your eyes, breathe out, forward fold. Breathe in, halfway lift. Breathe out, place your hands down onto the mat. Step back to plank pose. Bring your knees to the floor. Untuck your toes, breathe in. And breathe out, go down to the floor and breathe in, pressing your hands. Push your upper body up. Breathe out, bring your heels towards the back, your hips towards the back of the mat. Pressing your hands and feet, downward facing dog. Breathe in, lift your right leg up to the sky. Breathe out, bend your right knee, step your foot in between your hands. Bring your left knee to the floor, untuck your toes. Breathe in, bring your arms up towards the sky, look up. Baby back bend, breathe out, hands to the floor. Breathe in, tuck your toes, lift your back knee and bring your right foot back into the sky. Breathe out, bend your right knee and bring your right foot towards the left side of the mat. Straighten out your leg, lift up your left hand, look up. Breathe out, left hand to the floor, bend your right knee, breathe in, right leg up to the sky. Breathe out, bend your right leg, bring it forward. Foot goes to the left side of the mat, knee towards the right. Place your right knee behind your right wrist. Bring your left knee to the floor, untuck your toes. Breathe in, come up to your fingertips. Lift up your body, tense your bum muscles. Shoulders back, look forwards. Breathe out, place your hands back onto the mat, tuck your toes. Breathe in, bring your right foot back up towards the sky. Breathe out, place it down into the mat. Breathe in and breathe out. Bring your knees to the floor. And you're in a tabletop position. Untuck your toes. Breathe in, bring your right arm up in front of you. Breathe out, bring it underneath your body, so behind your left hand. Bring your right hand palm up towards the left side of the mat. Bend your left arm, bring your right shoulder down to the floor, head to the floor, bum stays high, and breathe in. Bring your right hand back in front. Breathe out, place your right hand back down, tuck your toes, push back into downward facing dog. Breathe in, lift your left foot up to the sky. Breathe out, bend your left knee, step your left foot in between your hands. Bring your right knee to the ground, untuck your toes and breathe in, take your hands up. Baby back bend. Breathe out, hands to the floor. Lift your back knee, breathe in, left leg goes up into the air. Breathe out, bend your left knee, breathe in, left foot to the right side of the mat, right hand up and open up your body. Breathe out, right hand to the floor, bend your left knee, breathe in, left leg towards the sky. Breathe out, bend your left leg, knee towards the left side of the mat, foot towards the right and place it behind your left wrist. Right knee to the floor, untuck your toes, breathe in, rise up onto your fingertips, look forward, feel powerful. Breathe out, hands to the mat, tuck your toes and breathe in, left leg open towards the sky. Breathe out, place your left foot to the ground. And breathe in and breathe out, bring your knees towards the floor, untuck your toes, breathe in, bring your left arm in front of you. Breathe out, bring it underneath your body, behind your right arm towards the right side of the mat, palm facing up, bend your right arm, bring your left shoulder towards the floor, head towards the floor like a kiss, and breathe in, come back up. Left arm in front, breathe out, bring it back to the mat, tuck your toes, back to downward facing dog. Breathe in, bend your knees, look forward, and breathe out, step your feet in between your hands. Breathe in, halfway lift, hands on shins, upper body parallel to the floor. Breathe out, forward fold. Breathe in, rise up, hands above your head, look up, and breathe out, straight into another forward fold. Breathe in, halfway lift, breathe out, place the hands onto the mat, step your feet back, but rather than coming into plank, immediately go to downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in here. And breathe out through the mouth. Breathe in and out. Let your knees sink to the floor. Back to a tabletop position. So we're going to go into our Yin postures now. So depending on what you want, you might want to already put on something warmer, maybe a jumper, or some socks. That both are fine, but we're going to do the same posture that we did earlier, but in a sort of extended way. Whereas before we sort of kissed the floor, now we're going to relax into it and let go. So your next in-breath, you're going to bring your right arm in front of you, straight out in front. And on your out-breath, you're going to bring it underneath your body, palm up, right hand towards the left side of the mat. So it's going right behind your left arm. So you can almost have your right arm pressed against your left arm. And then you're going to bend your left elbow and bring your shoulder towards the floor and your head towards the floor. But in doing this, don't push your bum backwards, but stay how you were before. So this is approximately hips above your knees. You're going to stay there and just bring your upper body down towards the floor. Head looks towards the left. And relax here. You can let your left arm go. Just lay that down on the floor how you like. I'm going to bring the screen down slightly so that hopefully you can see a bit better. So here you can either rewind, please stay if you're already comfortable, but if not, you bring your right arm up, bring it underneath your body, right palm up, right behind your left hand, bend your left elbow and bring your shoulder and head down to the floor. You can then relax your left arm, place it down, hips towards the sky. Close your eyes. And maybe take a deep breath in and breathe out through the mouth. Let the tension go in your body. Great pose for our shoulders, as well as you can feel it in your spine, or at least I can. It's important to think about your hips for a second. So a natural tendency can be here to sort of compensate and bring our hips towards the right. So can you bring your hips above your knees again and bring them straight rather than hanging one way? Bring them to the middle. Unclench your jaw. And breathe here as we stay here just for a few minutes. Check your body every now and then. Are you holding tension anywhere? In your jaw or anywhere else where you're slowly tensing up? Just whenever you notice that, just make a conscious effort to release that once again. So the way you can do that is on your in-breath to imagine sending your breath that you're breathing into that space. And then on your exhale, just allow in your imagination, all that tension to come out of your nostrils, gone out of your body. You might have to do that every 10 seconds, and that's okay. Sometimes the more we tense in a pose, the more uncomfortable it can become as well, whereas if we just relax into it, it actually feels quite okay. Just remember here that extreme discomfort is okay, pain is not. We'll do 5 more breaths here. And after your 5th exhale, you can place your left hand back down onto the mat and just slowly start pushing yourself back up. And take your right hand back in front of you and then push yourself back onto your heels, hands in front of you or alongside your body, forehead on the mat to a child's pose. Just for a few breaths here. And then when you're ready, push yourself back up to tabletop position. Hands underneath your shoulders. Breathe in, bring your left arm up in front of you. Breathe out, bring it underneath your body, left palm up. Left arm right behind the right arm. And start twisting your body, bending your right arm, bringing your left shoulder and head towards the floor. Relax your right arm. Make sure your hips aren't particularly hanging one way, but let them try and get them in the middle as much as possible. Make any adjustments if you need to, then close your eyes and keep breathing. Check if you're holding tension anywhere. Five more breaths here. after your fifth exhale, place your right hand down back into the mat. Slowly start pushing yourself back up. Bring your hand towards front and push yourself down to downward facing dog. Take the variation you like and take 3 more breaths here. And after your third breath, bring your arms back in front of you if they were alongside your body. And bring yourself back up. I'm going to take a seated position. And I'm going to quickly put on a jumper and some socks. If you didn't have those on yet, I recommend doing that now. Just make yourself as comfortable as you can be. And do one more pose before we go into Shavasana. This is called supported butterfly. So for this pose, we're going to bring our legs out in front of us with the soles of our feet pushed together. Now we can bring our feet further apart away from our body or closer towards us, depending on how flexible this area feels today. You can, if it's feeling very flexible, maybe bring them a bit closer. If it's feeling like, oh man, I really don't want to do this, maybe push them a bit further out. Your knees might be lifted up, so this is when our pillows can come in useful. You can place them underneath your knees to kind of support them, so you don't have to hold them up, but to really go into that relaxation. On an in-breath, bring your hands up alongside your body, and when you breathe out, we're going to do what we didn't do when we went down into forward fold, and we're going to bring our arms down and then our chin towards our chest, and then you're going to just roll your back all the way down as far as it will go. Now, depending on how far you go, you might like to place a pillow underneath your head to help you relax so you don't actually have to hold up your own head, or you can just free hang. Depending on how low down you get, you can put your palms facing upwards underneath your legs, so your hands come out here. Putting your arms under is absolutely optional. That is a bind. I would recommend that if you are already feeling quite a lot of discomfort now, we are going to be in this position for about 5 minutes. So please do adjust yourself now if you need to. So move your feet further away from you. Put pillows underneath your knees. Support your head with a third one. Because it's a lot better to now find a position that's maybe less intense but stay consistently in that same position for 5 minutes than in 2 minutes have to come out of it and adjust. So find a comfortable position for yourself. Now again, you can take the bind. You bring your arms underneath your shins with your palms facing up. You bring your head down or onto the pillow if that's where you're at. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath in and let it out of the mouth. Let your head hang heavy, crown of the head towards the floor. Back rounded, neck rounded. Just try and relax as much into this position as you can. again, you can absolutely use a mental picture with this. You know, imagine when you in-breath that all that oxygen goes towards the place that you feel holds the most tension in your body. And then imagine that on your exhale, all of that tension rises from that place up into your chest, into your throat, into your mouth and into your nose, and then out of your nose into the air. And do that as many times as you need. I often find that I have to keep reminding myself of, you know, relaxing my jaw, not clenching it, releasing tension in my muscles, because within, you know, 30 seconds that tension's back there, and then when I become aware of it again, I'm like, oh great, now I have to release it again. But that's totally fine, that is okay, and that is part of it. Don't become too frustrated with yourself if you think, well, I've already relaxed 4 times now, just relax again. We're going to do 5 more breaths here. And after your 5th exhale, if you have your arms underneath your shins, just release your arms slowly. And then we're going to start slowly rising up, so don't just immediately bloop, head up. Ready, just start by first with your head still down, lifting your body up. So where before we were rolling down, we're rolling up slowly now. And slowly our shoulders come up, and then finally we can lift our head. With your hands, guide your knees back together, feet on the floor. Move the pillows out of the way. Put your hands behind you, and just like the wiper blades of a car, just start moving your legs from left to right. Just to get a different movement in to our legs. Once more on each side, to the left and to the right. Bring them back to the center. Give your legs a little hug. Thank them for your practice. And you're going to lie down for a final relaxation. So you can lie back down flat on the mat, legs stretched out, I'm not going to quite lie down yet because it'd be difficult to hear me. But lie back down, head on the floor. If you've got a sensitive lower back, it can be nice to put a pillow underneath your knees. Just to relieve some of that pressure. When you've laid down, just for a second, place your hands underneath your head and lift your head up ever so slightly and tilt your chin slightly towards your chest, and then place your head back down again. This just elongates your neck ever so slightly. Place your arms alongside your body, wherever you'd like, one hand on your stomach, another on your heart space. And then just close your eyes. Just squeeze all your toes together, really tight, tight squeeze, and let go. Tense your legs and your bum muscles, and relax. Make a fist clench, really tight, clench, clench, clench. And let go, let your fingers relax. Bring your shoulders all the way up to your ears, all the way up, and let go and relax. Squeeze all the tiny little muscles in your face together. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Make the ugliest face in the world, and relax. Close your eyes if you hadn't already. Just relax into this position. I'm going to be here for a few minutes. Breathe. Start bringing your awareness back to your breath. Wiggle your toes slightly, your fingers, tiny movements, and maybe make them a bit bigger. Rotate your wrists and ankles. Maybe move your head from side to side. Perhaps you just want to have a good stretch out of your body. And then bring your knees towards your chest. Give yourself a little hug. Roll from side to side over your back. And then roll onto your left side. Eyes still closed. Take a couple of breaths here. And when you're ready, push yourself up by pressing your right hand into the floor. And come back to a seated position. Close your eyes once more if they were open. And on your next inhale, bring your arms up alongside your body and above your head. And on exhale, let your hands fall down through the midline and place them on your heart. If you have a belief, if you have a faith, maybe take a moment to say thank you to the Lord. You've been gifted this body and this time to experience it, to feel it. Maybe you want to say a prayer. If you don't have a faith, maybe you can just thank yourself for taking the time to practice and to relax into the weekend, to put the to-do list away, and thank your body for the capabilities and it has to be able to do this. Let your hands sink down and open your eyes. Thank you so much for practicing with me this week, even though it was a little bit different and less than ideal. I hope you still really enjoyed it, and see you next week on Friday live. Have a fantastic week, everyone. Bye.